Recently, the NFL announced an interest in expanding its NFL international program, stating they would like to play regular season games in countries such as Spain or Germany. The NFL has been playing outside of the United States as early as 1950. For a preseason game, the New York Giants traveled north of the border to play the CFL's Ottawa Rough Riders in a game that featured CFL rules in the first half and NFL rules in the second half? Interesting. The NFL has also held preseason games in countries such as Japan, Sweden, Germany, Spain, Ireland, and Australia. They have also held regular season games in countries such as the United Kingdom, Mexico, and Canada. But it's clear the NFL wants to hold more regular season games in different countries. So what are some foreign cities that could get an NFL regular season game? And also, what else could we see from the NFL international program? Stay tuned to find out. Okay, so this first city isn't exactly international, but I'd love to see the league hold a game in Honolulu. The league currently has 12 players from the 50th state. Honolulu also has a bigger population than two NFL cities, Green Bay and Buffalo. The only real issue is that Aloha Stadium is basically 4 rusty grandstands with a football field in the middle of it, so it's not exactly the best place to hold a football game. But I think it is something for the NFL to consider. Okay, now let's head across the pond. I think the NFL should absolutely hold more games in European cities. Hardcore NFL fans will remember the old NFL Europe. That league had teams in places like Frankfurt, Barcelona, Dusseldorf, and Amsterdam. I think the NFL can see major success if they held games in those cities, or even others such as Berlin, Stockholm, Dublin. Hell, they could even try a place like Paris or Manchester. But for the sake of this video, let's narrow it down to a couple of cities. I think the NFL should hold 2 London games, along with 1 game in either Liverpool or Manchester, have a Berlin game, and then also hold a game in either Barcelona or Madrid. Okay, let's go from Europe to north of the border. Obviously, Canada has the Canadian Football League, but the NFL still has a pretty prominent fan base in Canada. From 2008 through 2013, the Buffalo Bills played 1 home game a year at Rogers Centre in Toronto, and each year the attendance went down. Now, granted, the Bills weren't very good back then. They did go 1-5 in Toronto games, but hey, things are different now in Buffalo. Josh Allen is playing like an MVP, and there's a whole new resume. And their future is looking brighter than ever for the Bills, so maybe they give the annual Toronto game another shot. But what about other cities in Canada? I actually think the NFL has a pretty good opportunity here to expand their international program. I can see teams like the Lions or the Browns holding a preseason game in the city of Hamilton, and I say preseason because Tim Hortons Field only holds 30,000 fans, which really is not enough for a regular season NFL game unless you're the Los Angeles Chargers. The Patriots could possibly play a home game in Montreal at either Molson Stadium or the ever so janky Olympic Field. And the Seahawks could play a home game in Vancouver at the ever so beautiful BC Place, which is basically the Canadian version of Jerry World. But let's just not hold another game in Winnipeg. I don't want to see NFL players play on an 80-yard field again. Now let's try south of the border. What if the NFL wants to expand its roots in either Mexico, the Caribbean islands, or even South America? I think one place the NFL should consider playing a game is in Puerto Rico. The flight to the island really isn't that bad, however, there really isn't a stadium that can hold a regular season game. So could we maybe see a preseason game be played in Puerto Rico? And in terms of the NFL playing in Mexico, 1 game a year is not enough. They have to bump it up to 2 games a year. The league has only held 4 regular season games in Estadio Azteca, and each time they bring in tons of fans. The average NFL Mexico game has brought in over 83,000 fans, so there's definitely a following down there. Let's move out of North America and go to South America. Could we possibly see an NFL game played in Brazil? In 1998, a forum was started in order to get more Brazilian people to watch NFL games, specifically on ESPN, but prohibitive travel expenses would prevent the NFL from playing a game there pre or regular season. So sorry Brazil, no games for you yet. If the NFL were to expand its games into Asia, it would definitely have to be preseason games. This is due to how much travel the players would have to go through, plus all the prep for the travel. NFL teams would have to start getting ready in May if they want to do a game in Asia. NFL Films recently released a video on how a team gets ready to play overseas, and it takes a lot of time and effort. But I think the extra time and effort will eventually pay off into a sold-out game, and this could possibly become an annual thing, playing an NFL preseason game in Asia. A place the NFL should absolutely hold a preseason game in is Australia. The land down under currently has 6 players in the league. And sure, 4 of them may be punters, but damn it, punters are people too. The NFL has only played 1 game in Australia, a preseason game in 1999. But with the ever-growing popularity of the league, plus the country having a couple of players in the league, I think Australia could be a great place to hold a preseason game. So realistically, what does the future of the NFL International Series hold? I think they will slowly expand into playing more games in other countries by first starting in Europe and then Canada and then Mexico, and then go from there. Like I said, it takes a lot of work to get the players and all their equipment overseas. However, something I would love to see is each team playing 1 international game a year. And you could do this by having that be the new 17th game. So instead of the NFC and the AFC alternating how many home games they have each year, just have every team play 1 international game a year and it'll be perfectly balanced out. But once again, logistics kind of get in the way of that. Every time an NFL team plays overseas, they're supposed to have a bye week after that. But I feel like that's something the NFL can work around and will be a great way for the NFL to expand their international series. So that's it for today's video. Make sure you hit the like button and you hit the subscribe button. Share this video with all of your friends and check out all my other social media links in the description below. I have a TikTok, a Twitter, and an Instagram. So once again, thank you all for watching and I hope you all have a fantastic day.